Hari Om. Now today's subject is yoga for obesity. Obesity also is a very common problem, and in most of the cases it is not understood as a disease. Actually also obesity is not a disease. But if you consider the basic definition, something abnormal is disease. In this case also weight is abnormal. So in that way we can call it as a disease. But finally I want to mention that obesity actually it is not disease, but it is a origin of many diseases. That is, if obesity continued, many diseases can arise and they are more dangerous, because treating those diseases which are originated from obesity is very difficult because of the obesity itself, particularly for yoga treatment, because person has to practice asanas and pranayamas and all that, but because of obesity the person may not be able to practice all those asanas and all that. That is why diseases originated from obesity are difficult to cure with yoga practices. So definitely obesity is to be controlled, and the weight is not increasing all of a sudden. It increases with very slow speed, which we cannot notice also. So if you observe from the very beginning, and when weight is little bit high, it is very easy to control the weight, even with yoga practices also. But if weight is much higher, then the yoga practices become very difficult to do. So it becomes more complicated. And obesity, it is measured in terms of BMI, body mass index. Body mass index is a figure which is equal to the weight in kilogram divided by height in meter bracket square. And that must be 21 for all people, maybe ladies and gents also. So we must observe our weight regularly and try to maintain it near about 21, because plus minus 2 is allowed. So if your weight is between 23 and 19 BMI, then it is supposed to be normal. So when weight goes beyond 23, we must make some effort to bring it down. And for lowering the weight, yoga is very helpful. And of course, diet also is required, because in food we take a lot of carbohydrates, fats, and if they are stored in the body, weight goes on increasing. So by controlling diet, we can reduce the intake of fat, which is a major cause for obesity. And whatever fat is stored in the body, that we can consume with the help of yoga. Also, yoga will streamline the digestion system, and the production of the fat also will be reduced. So we'll discuss all these points step by step. But to start with, I want to make some grades in obesity for treatment, and which is very useful particularly for the beginner yoga therapist. Grade 1 obesity. Weight is high, no, definitely, but there is no other physical problem. Otherwise, the person is perfectly healthy. That is very simple and easy to treat. Grade 2 yes, obesity is there, but there are some minor problems, minor physical problems. For such people, we have to take little bit care and we can give the yoga treatment in the best way. Grade 3, obesity is there but major diseases like diabetes, asthma, thyroids, menstrual disorders, hypertension, etc. etc. This also we can treat with our yoga program, which I am going to discuss. But we have to take certain care that I will explain afterwards. And grade 4 is obesity with threatening diseases like heart disease, slip disc, arthritis. These are very serious problems where the yogic practices prescribed for obesity cannot be practiced at all. And so we have to focus more on reducing the weight. Anyway, we'll discuss all these one by one and see what we can. So my warning to yoga teachers. Please note, it's a warning. Please take care. For grade 1, we can follow the regular program of obesity, which I am going to discuss hereafter. Straight away you can implement because there is no other physical problem, only obesity is there. So the patient is able to do all the things systematically. For grade 2 obesity, you have to find out what is the other physical problem. I have already discussed the yoga program for different diseases and problems. So from that, you have to find out what are the contraindications. And those contraindicated practices should be deleted from the obesity program, which I am going to discuss. So this is you have to be more careful. And for grade 3 and 4, at least in the beginning stage, do not teach such patients because they will need the expert medical support and other additional treatments. So grade 1 and 2, yes, you can do it. You start with that. Slowly you will gain the experience and then you may be able to treat grade 3 patient. Grade 4, I think it's very difficult. Rather, we cannot teach obesity program for grade 4 obesity people because they have got major diseases. So we have to focus more on major diseases and not on obesity. Of course, obesity we can control with food, whatever the person is, whatever the stage is. So diet control is essential in all the cases. It helps definitely. And in many cases, without diet control, reduction of weight is not possible at all. Now I will discuss the special program for obesity. We have given a specific name, SSS. It is a slim and smart sadhana. Sadhana is practice. So to become not only slim but smart also. Yoga is definitely useful for both the things. So this name is a little bit attractive. But the program is in a standard way that preparatory practices, selected useful asanas, cleansing practices, pranayama, meditation, yoga nidra, contraindication, food recommendation, all these points are common. So we'll discuss individually. Now what is the cause of obesity? One, I told you, it is excess food or excess fat and carbohydrates. That is major cause. But second cause, which is also important, is with digestive system. Because whatever food we take, it is digested, that may be decomposed. And whatever is needed for the body is absorbed. Whatever is not needed, it is thrown off. That is a digestive system and excretory system. Now in certain cases, something goes wrong in digestive system and most of the food is converted into fat. Actually, it should finally convert to blood and food nutrients and all that. In certain cases, fat generation is more. And then fat, if it is generated in the body, it is stored at different places on our body. And when some exercise is done, by movements are done, the fat is consumed. So this is called fat metabolism. It means converting the food atoms into fat, storing them in our body, utilize them whenever they are needed. This is fat metabolism. So this fat metabolism mainly depends on the digestive system. If digestion is proper, then everything will be proper and there will be no excess storage of fat. So we have to focus on digestive system in one way, for which we will select the asanas, pranayamas and all that. And secondly, whatever fat is stored in the body, we have to consume. It is called burning of fats. So we'll select some practices from yoga. They will help for burning of fat. It is burning means utilization or consumption, we can say. It's not exactly burning, just like burning a paper. But the word is used, that consumption of fat or utilization of fat. So from these viewpoints, we'll decide the different practices. Preparatory practices are definitely essential because the person is new. He has never practiced yoga and moreover he is obese. So movements are very difficult for such person. So we have to start with very slow movements. We are going to select the fast movements afterwards for burning of fat. But the starting point is very slow and particularly Shavasana as usual. Then basic movements, preparatory movements, sun salutation with slow speed. So these preparatory practices help to make the person move his or her joints and muscles and all that. If they have become very stiff, the stiffness will be reduced, flexibility will be there, and they will start moving properly, all joints and muscles and ligaments and all that, because of all these preparatory practices. That is, these practices are recommended with slow speed. Now I am going to recommend some of these practices with fast speed, but it is afterwards. Starting point is with slow speed. That you must take care. If you start fast movement in the beginning only, the person will get some pain, disturbances, troubles in joints and muscles and all that, and he may not be continue the treatment. So preparatory practices must be very slow. Then we will come to the essential practices. Now these practices are to be practiced on zero level. Normally we don't practice on zero level because it is exercise, it is not yoga. It is a yogic practice, but practice as exercise. This is called zero level. That means the practices with fast movement. Normally in yoga, everywhere movement is very slow. But here we have to teach with fast movement. So all preparatory movements with fast speed. That means 4 times the normal. Normal is slow speed. At 4 times the normal. Such a fast thing. Because we have to consume or burn the fat. So these definitely help to burn the fat. Then sun salutation also with the fast speed. Our normal speed is particularly 1 round in a minute. But here 4 rounds in a minute. So 15 seconds 1 round. 4 times more. So I recommend 32 repetitions in 8 minutes. So 4 repetitions in 1 minute. Of course, this is a target. So first we have to start sun salutation with slow speed, as I explained in preparatory practices. Then you start increasing the speed slowly. First we have to increase the number, because the person is not used to practice all sun salutations. In the beginning he may practice 4 or 5 rounds, each round maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes also. Regular practice will develop that he can practice maybe 12 rounds with 1 round per minute. So coming to normal. Then you go on increasing the speed slowly. And final target is 32 repetitions in 8 minutes. Followed by 2 minutes Shavasana. So in 10 minutes this exercise is there. This is all exercise. Preparatory movements with fast speed also exercise. Sun salutation with fast speed also exercise. But the practices are yoga. That is why we say practice on 0 level. So step by step you have to achieve that. This is more important. Now all the asanas, these are to be practiced on level 3. And level 3 means attaining the asana position with very slow movements. Then relax the muscles of the body as much as possible. Oh, this is the most important point. Then only the asanas will have the effect or the improvement on digestion. If this relaxation is not there, the stretch will work on skeletal muscles only. And the digestive organs will remain without any effect. And this relaxation is important in particularly all the asanas, except for arthritis or slip disc and all. Then maintain the asana position for some time, and that time will depend on individual. It must be comfortable. So maintain the asana posture, whatever he can achieve, the position whatever he can achieve. But relax all the muscles and be comfortable. So it must be maintained as long as it is comfortable. And then reach the asana position with very slow movements. So this is level 3. So in this way, one has to practice all the asanas describing hereafter. I have given some asanas which are definitely having the effect on digestion, please note. And digestive organs are in the stomach, in the abdomen, sorry. All digestive organs are there: stomach, small intestine, then pancreas, liver. All these are digestive organs. They are all in abdomen. So we have to focus on the abdominal area. And when you practice the asanas, as I told you, the asanas is on level 3. So full relaxation. So you may add some more asanas also. But I have selected some important asanas which are having the good results, because we are treating the patients since years together in our yoga therapy center. So we have taken trial on different asanas, and we found that these asanas which I am going to mention, they are useful for reducing the weight in shorter period. Uttanapada Chakrasana 3 rounds, Sarvangasana maintaining for 3 minutes, Halasana 1 minute, Matsyasana 1 minute, Ardha Matsyendrasana 2 minutes on each side, Paschimottanasana 1 minute, Akarna Dhanurasana 1 minute on each side, Ushtrasana 2 minutes, Udara Sanchalan 3 rounds, Trikonasana 1 minute on each side, Virasana 1 minute on each side, and Shavasana whenever needed. These are some of the important asanas which are useful for improving the digestion and ultimately reducing the weight. But we practice on level 3, that is much more important. Let us come to the pranayamas. Anulom Vilom deep breathing, it is a basic practice which is to be practiced mostly in all the diseases. because this gives it training how to operate the breathing system with the different nostrils and with slow speed and all these things. So Anulom Vilom deep breathing is supposed to be the basic thing. Just Anulom Vilom breathing will not help for reducing weight, but it helps to develop the control over the breath, and the patient will be able to practice the advanced pranayamas. Now Ujjayi pranayam with Kumbhak for 10 minutes. Again, this is a target because when it is with Kumbhak, you have to teach 3 bandhas also. So start Anulom Vilom, start normal deep breathing, slowly Anulom Vilom deep breathing, then you teach all these bandhas, then you make the proportion maybe 4 to 8, 5 to 10, 6 to 10, 6 to 12. And then finally Kumbhak, holding the breath. So it will take a long time. But for this obesity people, Kumbhak is useful. So we have to reach to that stage. That is why the total time is more for teaching. And Kumbhak is there because, as I told you, this is for grade 1, where is no other complication. Because if blood pressure is there, then we cannot teach Kumbhak. So we have to teach without Kumbhak. Like that, you have to select afterwards. Then Surya Vedan Pranayam with Kumbhak for 10 minutes and Bhastrika Pranayam with Kumbhak for 10 minutes. These 2 pranayamas are useful because they are in hot nature. So they will help to burn the fat which is stored in the body. And that is why these pranayamas are recommended. And you know, heat is of course burning qualities. The Surya Vedan, Bhastrika, they are hot nature. So they will definitely burn the fats. That is why they are recommended. But with Kumbhak also, but that depends on the condition of the patient also. And teaching technique also must be as usual with cleansing practices are also useful. They are useful for improving digestion also. They are useful to some extent in burning of fat also and storage of fat also. So Agnisar 100 strokes total in 3 to 4 minutes. Udyan Bandha 5 rounds, each round 30 seconds. But this is after exhalation. Udyan Bandha in Kumbhak is different. And Udyan Bandha individual is different. Kapalbhati 5 rounds, 120 strokes per round. Then Vamanadhoti once a week. Laghu Shanka Prakshalan also once a week. And full Shanka Prakshalan once a year. So these 3 cleansing practices will keep the digestion perfect or normal. So fat metabolism also will be controlled. So that is a natural way to maintain the weight of the body, maintaining the fat metabolism. In healthy person, fat metabolism is normal. So even if they eat more fat, that fat is not stored in the body. But if the fat metabolism is disturbed, even if you eat little fat, that is also stored in the body. So that is how we have to maintain the fat metabolism, and for that, all these cleansing practices are also definitely useful. Now meditation, Om chanting. Because stress also is one of the cause. This is a cause for mostly all diseases. So obesity also, because of the stress, the mind is disturbed, the brain gets disturbed. So all body functions get disturbed. That is why we have to manage stress mostly in all diseases. In obesity also we have to manage the stress. So definitely Om chanting 15 to 30 minutes will be helpful. Then chakra meditation on Manipur chakra, because Manipur chakra is responsible for the total digestive system. And I told you digestive system is important in case of fat metabolism. So chakra meditation on Manipur chakra with mantra Om Ram for 30 minutes, of course, as usual. One has to meditate on all the chakras, but Manipur chakra more time, that's all. Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a relaxation technique. You may think how it will work, because there is no movement at all. So it will burn the fat. Yoga Nidra not burn the fat. But you see, the relaxation developed in Yoga Nidra is on deepest level. So in that case, natural balancing of the weight is carried out by the body, because body itself has got knowledge that weight is increased, we have to control. And our body has got some mechanism which is controlled by the autonomous nervous system to balance the weight. It will reduce the generation of fat, reduce the storage, increase the burning of fat, something like that. So that normal mechanism of the body for keeping the weight normal is stimulated by Yoga Nidra, that is relaxation in Yoga Nidra. So with this relaxation, brain gets time to think of what is happening in the body and what he should do. And he can take some steps. That is why Yoga Nidra is useful. Yoga Nidra removes the mental block and makes it possible for body and mind to respond positively to the treatment. Because in many obese people, their mind is fixed that their weight is not going to reduce by any means. So this becomes a mental block. You give whatever the treatment, the body is not accepting. Because when the mind is not accepting the result of yoga or yogic treatment, body also will not accept. And this mental block can be removed only through Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra is useful. So when mental block is removed, the body will get adjusted with yoga practice and get the perfect results also. Then Yoga Nidra speeds up the normalization process of body for weight reduction. Because keep the weight normal is a normalization process for body. Of course, through autonomous nervous system and mind. And that is why Yoga Nidra plays important role in this case. So just Yoga Nidra is relaxation, no doubt, but it definitely helps to get better results of our treatment. Suppose a person just practicing Yoga Nidra and not any yogic practice, then it will have no effect. At the same time, if person has got certain mental block and he is practicing yoga, there also no effect, no results. That is a Yoga Nidra plus yoga treatment will work best way. That is what our experience. Contraindications for grade 1, there is no contraindication. There is a perfectly healthy person. We can add some or many asanas, pranayamas also. But for other grades, the contraindications depend on the disease. And we have discussed many diseases, that time everything it is explained that this is a contraindication. So if that particular disease is there along with the obesity, that contraindication which is mentioned in the disease is to be followed. But as a only obesity grade 1, there is no contraindication. The other cases you have to think of contraindications for the particular diseases which are along with the obesity. Food recommendations are very important, because whatever fat is stored in the body, it is received through the food only, and of course processed through the digestion. And controlling the food intake is somewhat simple. Just control your taste and likings, and that's all, then you can do it. So normal food is recommended with less fat and less carbohydrate, because these fats and carbohydrates are responsible for the fat generated in the digestion system. So control it. So best food is fruit and vegetable, because it doesn't contain fat and carbohydrate to that extent. Then less protein diet also is recommended, because excessive protein, they can create some more other complications. Then it is to be avoided that non-vegetarian food, milk and milk product, milk directly contains fats. Minimum 6% fats are there in all type of milk. Sometimes it is more. And of course milk and milk product also, because they also contain lot of fat. But skim milk can be taken because skim milk doesn't contain that fat. Practically we can say skim milk contains 0% fat. Then fruits like banana, mangoes and grapes are to be avoided because they put on the weight, they are direct sugars. Rice also is increasing the fat. Oil is directly fat only. You reduce the oil as much as possible. Then spicy food, refined food, fast food, preserved food, these are all disturbing the digestion and disturbing the fat metabolism. So these are also to be strictly avoided. So for diet, I have designed one program. It is called FNIR. These are the short form of Sanskrit word. This is a 3 days program which is specially recommended diet. Continuous 3 days, not intervals. And this can be repeated once in 2 weeks, that is twice a month. Not every week, but every fortnight this can be repeated. And this program reduces the weight by 3 kgs in a month. Straightway reduction is our research. Of course, little here and there it doesn't matter. But on an average, 3 kgs are reduced with just this program, without yoga treatment. If you had yoga treatment, again there will be much more reduction. Now what is this program? The first day, one has to eat only fruits and vegetables. Maybe raw or in a cooked, without oil of course, cooked form, to be more palatable. So like this, you can see this picture and you can get idea about. In fruits, I told that banana, mango and grapes are to be avoided. Other fruits are okay. Of course, in different countries, some fruits are there which are having high sugar and all that. These are to be avoided. But full day, one has to take, this is only food, no other meal, no cooked food. Same thing in the breakfast, same thing in the lunch, same thing in the dinner. Now second day, only lemon juice with lukewarm water and little salt you may add, no sugar. Sugar is to be strictly avoided because it is directly adding the weight. So just lemon juice from morning to night, no other food. No other food is very important. Other people will take lemon juice with some regular food. It is of no use. Just lemon juice throughout the day. And definitely you won't get weakness. You can continue your regular duties and work. Third day, only juices and soups. Of course, without oil. Plain. Any juice, any soup you can take. For taste, you can add something little bit, if at all you need. But this also to be taken throughout the day. So there is no regular food in 3 days. First day fruits and vegetable, second day only lemon water, and third day only juices and soups. So no regular food is there. So no oil, no fat, no carbohydrate. So definitely it will help. That is why I told you, on an average, if you follow this for 3 days, your weight will be reduced by 1.5 kgs. That is our research. Average, little bit more or less may be there. So this is practiced twice a month, once in a 15 days. And there is definitely no weakness, please note. You do not have to just sit or sleep for 3 days. You just work normally. Rather, you will feel more and more energetic. with this food as compared with our normal lunch and dinner. Then walking for 1 hour a day. Walking, it is very advantageous and all that. But if you want to reduce the weight by walking exercise, there are some principles which you have to follow. That you must walk 60 minutes continuously without any stopping. How it works? When you start walking, it is definitely some exercises. So the sugar in the blood is utilized during first 20 minutes of walking. Okay, now second 20 minutes, blood sugar becomes very low because it is consumed. So the sugar stored in the liver, it is utilized. Because liver is a godown of sugar. And whenever the blood sugar goes down, the sugar in the liver is poured in the bloodstream. So second 20 minutes is sugar stored in the liver is utilized. But with this 40 minutes of walking, sugar in the liver also becomes less. And so the fat in the body is converted into energy during last 20 minutes of walking. That is why I say continuous walking for 60 minutes is essential. Because last 20 minutes are going to benefit. If one walks 40 minutes only, there is no reduction in weight because of walking. You may get other advantages, no doubt. But if you want to reduce the weight by walking, you must walk last 20 minutes. But last 20 minutes are last only, not first. That is why 60 minutes walking helps to reduce the weight. And to our experience, if you walk 1 hour a day, maybe morning or evening, total weight reduction in 1 month is 1 kg. It is not much, but at least 1 kg is reduced with that. And walking is interesting and easy. Anybody can walk. Even obesity grade 2, 3, also to some extent, they can easily walk. It is not fast walking. It's walking on a normal pace. If one walks 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, then it will not have this result. That is why it is a continuous walking for 60 minutes is very important. Now let us see how weight reduces quantity wise. This is because we are conducting this program every now and then in our yoga therapy center also and in different yoga centers also. So this SSS program, which I already discussed earlier now, it is for 21 days program, 2 hours a day. So we have calculated all that and we can finish that all program in 21 days, including Shankar Prakshala. So that in 1 month, that reduces 4 kgs, average. Then Fernira program, twice a month. With that, there is the reduction of 3 kgs. Then daily dinner replaced by raw food. Raw food is, as I explained in paneer. Paneer is all raw food. But paneer is spread in 3 days. But now we can change or replace the dinner by raw food. Cooked also will do, but vegetables and fruits. Only dinner. Lunch may be normal. Then that will reduce the weight in 1 month 2 kgs. And walking for 60 minutes every day will reduce the weight for 1 kg. Of course, the other food restrictions are to be followed. And the yoga program is to be implemented. So there is a total reduction of 10 kgs. So we can reduce 10 kgs in a month, provided all these things are practiced. We may call it as a crash program. Because reduction in weight is, if it is more, then it is not so advisable. Sudden reduction is not advisable. It must be reduced slowly only. Weight has increased slow speed, so it must be reduced with slow speed. So 10 kgs a month is normal reduction, we can say, is good for health. So this is how we can manage the program. One more important point I would like to mention, that water intake. Because water also has got weight. You see, 1 liter of water weighs 1 kilogram. We are drinking water. It is very essential because water is used for cleaning also and for different processes in the body also. But if we drink excess water than needed, then that is stored in the body, maybe intracellular fluid or extracellular fluid. In this form it gets stored, and that stored water puts on the weight. So when we take water, we utilize it in body in different processes, and finally it is converted to urine, and that is thrown out. So this extraction of urine from the bloodstream is a duty of kidney. So we drink more water, the kidney is overloaded in one side. And secondly, some of the water, if it is not thrown out, it is stored in the body and it is increasing the weight. So we should not drink excess water. What is a normal intake? It may be 2 to 3 liters. 2 liters in cold condition, 3 liters in hot condition, atmospheric condition. Because some water is expelled through the sweat also. It should not be less than 2 to 3, but it should be more than 2 to 3. Because excess water will overload kidney on one side and increase the weight with storage of water on the other side. So definitely excess water intake is not recommended. For certain patients, particularly for the kidney stone and all that, doctor recommend you take more water. That is okay for that particular period. But if there is no specific recommendation of increasing the water from the physicians, we should not go on drinking water. Water in a form of all forms: plain water, tea, coffee, juice, all forms of water. It should not be more than 2 to 3 liters. Then that definitely will help for controlling the weight. Certain patients, obese patient, I found that their weight is not of the fat, but it is weight of the water. And we can observe, by just clinical observation, we can know that what is the cause of weight, whether it is the fat or it is the water. If it is water, we immediately recommend to reduce the water, and weight goes on reducing with fast speed. But many times the combination is there, so normally we have to observe. We can't say just drink less water. We have to observe how much water the patient is taking. Find out how much the urine is there. And from that you will come to know that how much is stored in the body. And then you can recommend. So this also helps in. So all these practices are to be implemented at the same time. That is also more important. Then definitely we can reduce the weight by 10 kgs a month. And of course, when the weight comes to normal, then some practices we can stop, but something has to be continued. And diet control is definitely useful throughout the life itself. Because certain people have got tendency of overweight. That is that the practices must be continued, definitely. And we have got a lot of experience that definitely the weight we can be reduced. We have got the patients of 160 kg also. But now the patient's weight is reduced to even 60 kg. Reduction of 100 kgs. But it took 3 to 5 years. And the patient has continued the practices regularly. Then the reduction is possible. So reduction is possible definitely with yoga. So, Hari Om.